"Hi, this is Reddit Confessions channel." She walked in like nothing had changed. Her heels clicked softly on the hardwood as she crossed the threshold, humming the last few notes of a song that had probably been playing in the car. In one hand, a white takeout bag swinging lightly. In the other, her phone, still glowing from a conversation I could guess the ending to. She laughed to herself, not nervously, not guiltily, just easily, like she was still high off the kind of evening she used to save for anniversaries. And when she called out my name, I didn't answer, because I wasn't there anymore. She didn't notice the emptiness right away. Her eyes went to the kitchen first, the way they always did, scanning the counter for the glass of wine she assumed I'd have poured for her. Then the silence reached her. She turned. The armchair was missing the blanket I always kept draped over the side. The bookshelf looked thinner. The corner where my slippers usually rested bare. She moved toward the hallway slowly now, sensing something was wrong, but not wanting to name it. Maybe she'd imagined the shift. Maybe I was just asleep. She opened the bedroom door. Half the closet was empty. A lone hanger still swung slightly from where I'd lifted the jacket she gave me on our 5th Christmas. My watch box was gone. So was the suitcase that had lived beneath the bed for years, collecting dust from all the trips we never took. Her breath caught in her throat. I imagined it clearly, the slow realization, the internal protest, the flicker of panic. And then her eyes, trailing down to the candle by the knitstand. Vanilla and bergamot. Her favorite. Sitting delicately on top of it, nestled into soft, wax still warm, was my wedding ring. It hadn't been rage. Not fury, just finality. Hours earlier, while she was sipping wine across the table from the man whose name she always said to quickly, Elliot, just my boss, Hayes harmless, I had been quietly packing away the life we had built together. I didn't slam doors. I didn't break dishes. I folded shirts. I wrapped picture frames in towels. I sealed the box of memories with tape I had bought weeks before, when the truth had finally become too loud to ignore. This wasn't impulsive. It was preparation. And it started on a Monday, the kind of ordinary day you forget until it becomes the moment that rewrites everything. She was in the shower, steam fogging up the mirror, humming some song she never sang around me. Her purse sat open on the dining room chair, its contents spilling out like a secret too tired to stay hidden. I wasn't looking for anything, at least not consciously, but the receipt caught my eye, sticking out just enough to whisper my name. Dinner. For two. At a restaurant I'd never heard her mention. An expensive place by the water. The timestamp, 9:43 p.m. Last Thursday. The same night, she told me she had a team-building seminar. I remember her words so clearly it hurts. Don't wait up, these networking things always run long. She didn't eat sea bass and truffle risotto with her co-workers. She didn't share a Kernbrul with the junior associate from marketing. She went with him. Elliot. I sat at the table and stared at the paper like it was a puzzle I was desperate to solve differently. But the pieces didn't change. No matter how I turned them. It was all right there. Proof in thermal ink. When she came back downstairs, towel on her head, casual as ever, I smiled. That scared me more than anything. Because I meant it. Not in affection. In closure. She kissed my cheek the next morning. Said she had meetings all day, probably wouldn't be back until late. I nodded. Asked her if she wanted me to save her leftovers. She chuckled, said, no need. Might grab something with the team. And then she left. She didn't look back. That was when I opened the hallway closet and took out the moving boxes. It'd been waiting for a sign. The receipt was more than enough. I started with the small things. The ridiculous ceramic mug she painted at a couple's pottery class. The V&N keychain we bought at a roadside gift shop. The notes she used to leave on the bathroom mirror during our first year of marriage. Everything that had once meant something now felt hollow. A collection of items that used to make a life, now just reminders of a life interrupted. I packed them anyway. By 3 p.m., I was down to essentials. The photos, the documents, the memories I wasn't sure I'd ever want to look at again. I left the furniture, left the TV, left the couch we spent too many nights sitting on, silently scrolling through our phones instead of talking. But I took my piece with me. I also took our joint account offline, cancelled the auto payments, removed my name from anything that connected me to her. It wasn't out of spite. It was self-preservation. And when she walked through the front door later that night, wearing the same red blouse I'd complimented on our anniversary, the same lipstick shade she said made her feel bold, I was already gone. Not just physically, spiritually. She hadn't expected to come home to absence. She expected me to be waiting, like always, to ask how her day was, to pretend we had been slowly drifting into different oceans for months. But I couldn't pretend anymore. I watched from 3 blocks away, parked, engine off. I needed to see her face, not for closure, for confirmation, that even now, she didn't expect consequences. She didn't call my name right away. She moved through the house slowly, confused, unsettled. The first time she said it, it was almost a whisper. The second time, louder, sharper. By the third, I could hear the crack. Then the phone calls started. I didn't answer. I needed her to sit with the void, to feel what it meant to be left, not abandoned, not punished, just left. Because sometimes leaving isn't running. It's returning to yourself. I spent that night on a pull-out couch in my cousin's guest room, listening to the silence spin around me like wind through empty halls. I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I didn't even curse her name. I just laid there, breathing, becoming real again. By morning, a message lit up my phone. Unknown number. She's been crying all night. Hope you're satisfied. No name. But I knew. Elliot. He wanted me to feel guilt. To believe I was the villain. The jealous husband who overreacted. But all that text did was confirm what I had suspected all along. He wasn't just her boss. He was her choice. And now he felt entitled to comment on my pain. Like I was an inconvenience. An obstacle they had removed. I didn't reply. Instead, I made the next move. I wasn't going to burn the world down. I didn't want a tabloid scandal. I just wanted the truth to breathe. She worked for a firm that prided itself on integrity. Elliot held seminars on workplace ethics. Was the face of mentorship programs. The kind of man who signed his emails with inspirational quotes. So I gathered. Not revenge porn. Not angry messages. Just receipts, dinner confirmations from the credit card history, hotel bookings on nights she told me she was out of town for conferences, screenshots of messages she forgot to delete from our shared tablet, a timeline, precise, clinical, undeniable. I didn't send it to her. I sent it to the firm, anonymously. One envelope, no return address, just facts. Let them draw the lines. By midweek, the rumors had started. A contact of mine from her office messaged me. Is it true what's going around? They're reviewing Elliot. Something big is coming. I didn't respond. Didn't need to. The silence did the work. That night, I stood by the window of my cousin's house and looked out into the woods behind his property. Everything was still, cold, but honest. For the first time in years, I wasn't wondering who she was texting, who she was thinking about when she said she was working late. I wasn't waiting for an explanation that would never arrive. I was done. She didn't call the next day, but she showed up the one after, wearing a coat I bought her, with a bruise under her left eye she tried to hide with her hair. Her voice was thin when she spoke. Can we talk? I didn't say anything. She stepped closer. I told him it was over, that I needed to find you, that I wanted to fix this. She showed me her phone, photos I didn't want to see him, her. Smiling, touching, laughing. And then one I didn't expect. Her living room, ransacked. A wine glass shattered on the floor. A broken lamp. Panic frozen in pixels. He got angry. When I said I was leaving. Said I'd ruined everything. I believed her. Not because she was crying, but because the lie was finally too heavy to carry. Still, I didn't touch her. Didn't say it was okay. Instead, I handed her a blanket. Told her it'd take her to a hotel. That's it. No second chances. No promises. Just a ride through the dark. 3 days passed. She didn't call. She didn't text. Maybe she finally understood that this wasn't about forgiveness. It was about truth. And the truth had already been delivered. On Thursday, I sent her one final envelope. Inside were copies of everything it sent to the firm, with her name blacked out, not to protect her, but to remind her that I could have ruined her too. She opened it in silence, then whispered, "You could have destroyed me." I looked her in the eye and said, "You did that to yourself." Then I walked away. And I didn't look back. Because some stories don't need sequels. They just need endings. Continued in next message. Continued from previous. I found peace in small things. A cabin on the edge of a sleepy town. A job sanding old furniture at a local shop. Morning walks without a destination. Coffee sipped slowly. No one asking where I was. No one expecting anything. Freedom didn't look like a grand gesture. It looked like stillness. Like mornings with pine trees and the distant call of birds. Like knowing that my silence wasn't void, it was a boundary. Nora texted me once more. Just one sentence. "Thank you for not destroying me. I'll carry it all." I didn't reply. Not out of bitterness. There was simply nothing left to say. She would carry it. As she should. I wasn't that man anymore, the one who used to shrink to fit inside her priorities, who gaslit himself into believing her stories, who waited for crumbs of affection while she offered banquets to someone else. No. That man had walked away. Piece by piece, I had rebuilt something sturdier. Not from spite, but from clarity. A week after the gallery, I stopped dreaming about her. That's how I knew it was finally over. No more waking up in the middle of the night with the taste of her name on my tongue. No more phantom laughter in the hallway. Just air, light, breath. And now, when I look in the mirror, I don't see the man who was left behind. I see the man who chose to leave, who chose himself. And if you're listening, if you've ever sat in a quiet house wondering when you stop being seen, if you've held your breath for so long waiting to feel love that you forgot how your own name sounded in your head, I hope this reminds you of something important. You are not weak for walking away. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you'll ever do.